Hello everybody, this is Hammer Striker here, right sitting at the last day of 2017, looking down the muzzle of 2018. We're going to do our last video, our 74th video of the year. We've actually done 74 videos this year, 25 of which have been actual individual gun reviews, and as we do every year, we pick from those 25 actual individual gun reviews our top 5 guns that we reviewed this year. You might wonder, why don't we do every gun that's out there or every gun we've ever reviewed? You don't want to see the same guns over and over again, our favorite EDCs, so we'll confine it to what we did this year. We had a lot of guns this year that were pretty close runners-up. We had a beautiful 1911 Springfield 9mm that we borrowed from a local viewer. We had a P229 Talo, really nice gun, excellent trigger. P938 Equinox. We're winning quite a few guns. Talking about the Glocks, we actually aren't going to talk about Glocks. We don't have any in the top 5 this year. We didn't pick either the 19 Gen 4, the Summer Special, because even though it was kind of cool with the front serrations, it was a limited run. It didn't make it into full production. And the Gen 5, though it's a great gun, really doesn't do anything leagues and bounds over what the Gen 4 offered. So we'll have a Glockless top 5 list. We want to take a second to wish everybody a Happy New Year. Let you know that we're going to hopefully do a whole bunch more videos coming into 2018. We are starting a Patreon page. Hopefully that'll help us expand into a little more diversity, make even more videos than we did this year. And also, when you like, share, and subscribe, remember to click that bell to be notified. Now we can start doing the new feature on YouTube as surveys and polls, so we can interact with you more and find out more about what do you want to see on the channel. So, anyways, enough talking. Let's start making some noise and move on to number 5. Here we are with number 5, the latest in the MMP series from Smith & Wesson, the M2.0. It's a evolution and a noticeable improvement over the original version. Of course, this one is unloaded. And they've done quite a few things to make this a really nice gun. First thing I'll note is there's over 40 variations of this. When you figure the combinations of caliber, it's available in 940 and 45, and color choices, flat dark earth is one of the available options. You can get it with or without a thumb safety, and there's even state-compliant versions, Massachusetts and some of the other states. So when you go to their page, there's about 40 different variations of this thing. It does have ambidextrous slide stop, slide release. It has really nice serrations, front and rear. It has a cocking shelf on the metal really bright 3-dot sights. Excellent ergonomics, and the trigger on this is really quite nice. Much smoother than the previous generation, very light take up, short crisp break, and reasonably short reset and another short crisp break. So they really did step up their game with this gun and did a number of evolutionary features to it. It's even got replaceable back straps, really kind of a sandpapery texture, and no finger grooves. It actually turns out to be quite a nice gun. Coming in around $450, it's quite a good bang for the buck. We roll into number 4 with the Walther Creed. Basically, it's a less expensive variation of the PPQ. From an ergonomic standpoint, it's very similar to the PPQ. It's got the bright 3-dot sights just like the PPQ. Very easy to operate controls, but it's got a few things the PPQ doesn't. One is a price tag of around $350. The second is it is a hammer-fired gun, but due to the design of the hammer, where the hammer is disconnected from the spring, there's almost no tension at all on the take-up as you're pulling the hammer back. The spring's actually already fully cocked, but it's disconnected from the hammer for safety. Even if the spring were to fire with the hammer down, it wouldn't do anything. So it gives you a really short, crisp break. Kind of a little bit longer reset because you have to pick that hammer back up, but there's a very short, crisp break. When you add the price of the gun, the comfortable ergonomics, and exceptionally light to pull slide, very easy. You've got what makes a very good first gun, a gun for somebody that doesn't have stronger hands, but still wants the ergonomics of some of the other nicer guns that are out there. You've got front serrations, very nice styling So overall, what you get is a lot of gun for not a whole lot of money, and it really would be a good gun for anybody that wants to get into it that isn't looking for some of the heavier duty features. And we drop into the number 3 slot with the MMP Shield M2.0. This particular one's in 9mm. Smith & Wesson has really stepped up the game on the Shield just like they did on the MMP and added quite a few new capabilities and features that make this quite a nice gun. We'd actually gotten a lot of requests for the Shield previously, but really didn't like the original version of it. We picked this one up when it first came out and found that it's actually very nice. The ergonomics, the trigger, bright 3-dot sights. Overall, just a very well done gun, especially the trigger. The original trigger was kind of scratchy and a little bit heavy. This one's got a very short take-up, very crisp break, and a nice short reset. So what you've got is a trigger that's actually kind of unusual in these smaller guns. A lot of times these smaller guns don't have the nicest triggers, but this one actually has quite a nice trigger. There's over 20 variations of this available on their website. It's available in 9 and 40, with and without a mechanical safety or thumb safety, and in various state compliant versions. It's a super thin gun, so it is targeting the deep concealed carry market, pocket, inside the waistband when you've got to keep it kind of low profile, or even on the ankle. It's just a very well done gun that really caught our attention when we tried the new version out for the first time. So MMP Shield at number 3. Here we are one step away from number 1 in the number 2 slot with the Colt Cobra. Yep, we've got a wheel gun. This is the Colt Cobra chambered in .38 Special. It holds 6 rounds. And it's kind of a restarting of the snake gun line, Cobra, Python, Anaconda. I really do hope they do the Python and Anaconda and some of the other snakes in the series. This was the smallest in that series, designed for backup, concealed carry, more for law enforcement and things like that, because civilian concealed carry, when this gun first came out, wasn't as common. They brought it back, but they didn't just pull the old molds out and start making the same gun again. They did modernize it and refine it a little bit. The trigger is awesome. I'll show you that in a second. But it has a transfer bar safety, for example, so you can leave it hammered down on a live round safely. But talking about the trigger, the double action trigger on this is very, very smooth and terminates in a nice crisp break, almost no stacking, and then smoothly comes back out. It's one of the smoother double action revolver triggers I've tried that haven't been, a custom job or like a performance center. When you put it in single action mode, the trigger is just awesome. That's the entire break. You probably, if you weren't looking close, couldn't even see it move. Awesome single action trigger, and the thumb square makes it easy to grab the hammer, and it's very easy and smooth to pull down. So if you don't have strong hands, you can still actually easily cock this gun. So there's a lot of features that make it ergonomically nice. Now it does come with a rubber overmold Hogue grip. We replaced this grip, that video came out a couple weeks ago, just because of the looks of it. It has a bright fiber optic front sight. The rear sight is a gutter sight, but with that bright fiber optic, it's real easy to see. So overall, what they've done is they've made a really good concealed carry revolver for those that want revolvers, a backup gun, or just a fun gun to take to the range. We take this to the range, even loaded with Plus P. It's fun and comfortable to shoot. Overall, a great little gun. Price on this is around $6.99 MSRP, but right now you still can't get your hands on one of these easily. Hopefully that'll settle down soon and you'll be able to get them at a normal price. The price gouging and everything else that's still going on with these, they're that popular and a little bit hard to get a hold of. But if you can get one, you will really enjoy it. So here we are at the finish line with the FN 509 in the number 1 slot on our list. This is FN's submission to the MHS trials. It picks up where the FNS left off, but doesn't lose any of the cool things that the FNS had that made it a good gun. and adds a few things that make this, it's a good gun. 17+1 in its steel magazine. It is full ambi. This is the only one in our entire list that's full ambidextrous. The slide stop slide release as well as the magazine release right from the factory, both sides. It has serrations at the front and rear. It has excellent serrations on the grip overall. They're textured differently in each one to handle the angle that you're going to be pulling at, whether it's going to be pulling up, trying to twist. Replaceable back straps. Really bright 3-dot sights. These happen to be the photoluminescent, which aren't really substitutes for night sights, but what they do is as you're moving around from light to dark, if you move into a dark area, these will glow, move back into a light area, and you can see them again. So they work well at ranges where the lighting is inconsistent. Night sights are available, and they're easy to swap out. They're dovetail sights, so they're real easy to swap out if you were so inclined. From a trigger perspective, this thing has an excellent trigger. Minimal take-up, very short, crisp, clearly defined break. Decent reset. It's shorter reset than many of the other guns, not quite as short as like the PPQ. And you're right on the wall, and then another real crisp, clean break. So you end up with an excellent trigger, full metal sights. This one's even got a shelf on it for being able to do a belt cock or a boot cock if you find yourself in that position. And the sights are slightly elevated. They're not full suppressor sights, but they're raised up a little bit. If you did get a barrel for this, a threaded barrel for this, and put a low profile suppressor on it, you probably could do it with the sights that come on it. Of course, it does have the Picatinny rail. So it's got all the features you're looking for, as well as a number of ergonomic features that make it comfortable to use and easy to use. Overall, this is an excellent gun, coming in at around $549, $550. Same price territory as a Glock or the Smith & Wesson. It's got a lot going for it in refinement and the history of FN making excellent high quality weapons. There should be no reason that if you buy one of these, it shouldn't last you as long as you need it to. But before we go, we actually had one that almost made the list and didn't quite. The Mossberg Shockwave. It's the NFA Short Barreled shotgun that's not NFA, that's not even a shotgun. It's got a pistolish grip, but it's not a pistol. It's just a firearm. This isn't on the list, partially because it's not a pistol. But the other thing about this is typically these short barrel guns are very expensive to buy themselves. They're in the $700, $800, $900, over $1,000 territory for the actual NFA short barrel shotguns. And then you've got to get the stamp. Stamp's not all that expensive, but you got to wait 12 months. This gives you all of those features in a gun that you can just pick up your keys and head down to the gun store and buy one. They come in around $400, $450, somewhere in that territory, depending on where you find them. They're readily available. This grip is really easy to hold on to. Now we have kind of pimped this one out. We've added a rail and a laser to make it easier to aim and a little bit of texturing. But this is really pretty much, other than those add-on things, this is the factory configuration. It has a strap here, which some people wonder what the purpose of it. Well, the purpose of it is so when you're sending this forward, if you lose your grip, you're going to stop. Because the alternative is to not have the strap, slam it forward, lose your grip, and end up someplace you really don't want to be. So it's got all the ergonomic features necessary to make it a good gun. Super smooth action. Very smooth. It's based on the Mossberg 590. So we wanted to include this just to show it to you and talk about what it brings to the whole area of non-NFA type guns, something that anybody can have without having to go through a whole lot of hassle, but couldn't actually put it in the top 5 because, well, it's just a firearm. So if you like our videos, I'll set that little guy aside. If you like our videos, please give us a thumbs up, share, subscribe. Don't forget to click that little bell up top to be notified, so when we do surveys and things like that, you'll get the notification. Check us out on Facebook, and when we get our Patreon page up and running, we hope you'll come visit us there. So Happy New Year from Hammer Striker.